Aline.
Why can't I get that? Hassan Aline. Aline or Lean?
He was a
Lean. Hassan Aline. I definitely should be able to speak in my tongue.
he retired when he
Let me know, bro.
Oh, that's what I meant.
sold it to or gave it to the state.
We had the pleasure to be talking to Mr. Hassan Aline. Mr. Aline, could you be so kind and let the people know
I think I saw that.
what makes you an expert? How are you able to sit here and speak the words that you're going to share with them? You can start with your service, your years, if you'd be so kind.
Well, I'm a former building inspector for the city of Detroit.
Can you speak a little louder for the people, please?
Okay, I'm a former building inspector for the city of Detroit. I have 34 years when I retired from the city of Detroit. I was an ASME union steward at one time. And now, I guess you could say I'm one of the persons that filed a lawsuit. Most of them have union lawyers. I think it's Carl Williams and myself, and also an attorney, Crystal Printing, is filed, but we're the only non-lawyers that file. And the reason we are filing the lawsuit is because the bankruptcy is illegal. Mr. Orr did not follow the procedures. Mr. Orr is not an elected official. Unlike other bankruptcy proceedings, Chapter 9 is for public bankruptcy, cities, municipalities. So in order for them to file, you have to be an elected official, and Mr. Orr is not an elected official. He has a contract with the governor. City, the contract says Kevin Orr has a contract for the governor for emergency management, in order words to be the emergency manager. Now, under the law that they call the emergency manager law, Public Act 436, there was never a finding that the city was under financial stress or insolvent. So they didn't file that one, and then they have to bring in a committee to review. That was not done for Kevin Orr. Even though they put a paper in court, or somewhere in the court documents, they said that they received, they try to say, they want to be slick, they say they received a report from the review team that the city was insolvent. Well, they got their own report. They didn't get the one that was supposed to bring Kevin Orr in. And there was a vote, there was a statewide vote to get rid of or nullify the previous act called Public Act 4. Now, when that was nullified, that meant the old review team and everything connected with it was dead, null and void. So therefore, there had to be a new review team. In other words, there would be two review teams, and there's only been one. So nobody wants to talk about the fact that there was no review team, that there was no finding of this review team to bring in this so-called emergency manager. That's the first step, and that's a denial of due process. And the court has not addressed that issue. And he just went on willy-nilly and said, well, we're going to give it we're going to allow for bankruptcy. Now, the other thing is, before they can go to bankruptcy, meaning the city, they have to agree to negotiate or have some kind of negotiation with the union. The city of Detroit, Mayor Dave Bing, and their wisdom said that they don't have to negotiate with the city unions. We are not going to negotiate with the city unions. And they were so arrogant or dumb to the fact of bankruptcy that they went and got a MERC, which is the Michigan Employment Relations Commission. They went to them and got them to agree. So they have an official findings from the state of Michigan that says that the city of Detroit does not have to negotiate with the union. If they don't want to, if they refuse to negotiate, they don't have to. That's totally illegal or opposite the rulings of the bankruptcy court. In bankruptcy, the law says that they have to negotiate first as a condition for bankruptcy. That had never been done. This judge, Judge Rose, has never done that. Judge Rose is a magistrate. What is a magistrate? A magistrate is a person that's appointed by a judge. So he was appointed by the 6th Circuit Court District Judge. Chief Judge, 6th Circuit Court appointed him. As a magistrate, he has to be reappointed every year after the age of 70. He's 73 years old. And magistrate is a judge that can only hear your case if you agree. You have to consent to this man sitting and judge a case. That was never done. Matter of fact, it was hidden from people that he was not an Article 3 judge. And once we realized that, wait a minute, he's not an Article 3 judge. What is an Article 3 judge? An Article 3 judge is a judge that has been, a federal judge that has been appointed by the President of the United States and confirmed by the U.S. Senate. That never happened because he's not that type of judge. And therefore, our rights to due process are being denied. So this case is really a comedy of errors and is based in fraud. It's all fraudulent because the man, like I said, there was no finding under the law. Public Act 436 said that he had to, he could, whoever was the emergency manager, could represent the municipality in bankruptcy if and when, or if ever, the municipality or the elected officials of that municipality voted to go to bankruptcy. That never happened. See, so that's what we're dealing with. Now, the judge that we have, who is a magistrate, but keep it simple, we just say Judge Rose, he had a seminar, which they call it a one-sided seminar, because he had the folk from Jones Day, who's the company that Kevin Orr worked for, that he signed a contract with, so that's conflict of interest. But he had them in the seminar, and some other people, 2 other people, the name escapes me, talking about 436, the Michigan law and how it applied to bankruptcy and how they can use it in bankruptcy. Now, what is this judge there, and he's telling the people what to say in court and how to, how to get around whatever the city or the union is saying. And you may say, well, how do you know that? No, I wasn't there. I'm going to say it for you. How did you know when you wasn't there? I wasn't there. But what is this judge sitting there, and he taught a class or a seminar, and he's prepping people, and when you get a judge, the judge is supposed to be a person that has no knowledge of the case, no knowledge of the facts in the case and what happened. And so he should have reclused himself. He is going against all tenets of fairness and the law. And I would like to tell people, when they talk about, what is this law? Plessy v. Ferguson and the old civil rights law that says, or they wanted to put the man back in slavery, and they say, oh, you have to go back even though you ran away. What they never tell you is that the judge there, Judge Taney, in the case, was a slave holder. He had slaves. So how else was he going to rule? He's talking about him personally. That same thing with this judge here. He's personally involved, and if you know the man is connected, and it's easy to say he's going to get a payday. Now, what does this do for the city of Detroit and its citizens if the bankruptcy goes through? Well, the citizens' economy that they get from the pensioners are over almost $1 billion a year. And so there's $1 billion spent throughout southeast Michigan from the pensioners in the city of Detroit. So that's going to bring the economy down. Things are going to slow down. The stores, the neighborhood stores are going to close up that depend on local folks in Detroit shopping and doing business there. And all because some Republicans want to destroy the Democratic Party's what they consider to be strongholds, urban areas and union workers. Those are the two basic tenets that the Republicans are out to destroy. And in the meantime of this political power play or struggle, they're just wrecking people's lives to where they don't care. And you may say, well, they're only saying it's 4%, but see, all this is a camouflage and a lie. The 4% is really 20%.
Just one moment. When you say 4%, what exactly are you speaking of?
Well, they're saying that they want to just take 4% of your money, and it's really 20%.
Before they take this so-called 4%, this really 20% over the years, have you taken prior concessions?
No, too many. Too many 10% wage cuts, 20% wage cuts over the years to keep the city afloat. But they're going now, see, what they're not talking about, current city employees, they're talking about pensioners, people that have earned a pension, and not just say, you say, well, they deserve a pension, the city gave you the money. No, that money came out of our wages. That was called a deferred payment. That money was set aside in a pension fund. Most people just do not understand that's how it's done.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
If you could be so kind, can you let the people know what a deferred payment is? Because the average person thinks that this pension is something that your employer just gave to you inside of the contract for working for them. I don't think they understand that this is something that you actually paid into.
Right, right. We paid into it because, and a lot of times, you know, it's strange that now this debate about the pensions and the money, they never bring up, well, the city workers really get on an average of $50,000, $60,000 a year. They never say that anymore. Why? A clerk, how can a clerk at the city make $50,000? Well, what they are saying is that, well, they average it out, the professional people and all of that, so they'll take average. Now, what they're saying is that you might make $21,000, and that's with only paycheck, but you have $2 or maybe $3 out of your money for your pension, another $5 or $6 for medical costs. Now, right now, the Carpenters Union, they pay $14.36 out of their paycheck every hour for pension benefits. Funded pension benefits mean they pay that money toward their own pension. Not unfunded, funded. So they take $14.36 every hour out of their paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they want people to think the city is generously giving them this money. But what happens is the city collects the pension money out of the folks' paycheck like they collect the Social Security check or the benefits, the money we pay in the Social Security, they take that and turn that over to Social Security, send that off to Social Security Administration. They collect the taxes from 99% of the people at the city. And they take that money out of your paycheck, you never see it, and they turn that over to the IRS. So that's how they took the money from the pension benefit fund that we have, our money for pension, and they turn that over to the city's pension fund. See, they got it, it's confusing because it'll say Detroit Retiree General Fund. But that's a separate organization from the city of Detroit, even though the mayor sits on the pension board, councilman sits on the pension board, but it's still a separate entity from the city of Detroit. And now, there's two pension boards, police and fire and general retirement system. This group, I call Republicans, they want to set up one pension board.
Oh, wow.
They want to combine two pension boards together and take it over. That's over $9 billion, cash money.
Can you say that figure again?
$9 billion.
A year?
No, that's what they have, assets of $9 billion. Now, for 2012,
Yes.
for 2012, the police and fire, this was reported in Free Press, made 18.5% on the investment. So on $1 billion, that's $187.5 million. $75 million, which would be 300 and what's that say? 187.5. I'm gonna round it off, make it easy. I just rounded off $2 billion, 200 million, and so another 200 million on the 2 billion, and on the third billion another 200. So that's $600 million that they're making a year. That was last year. Now you know the stock market is at an all-time high, and folks made 34%. I think that's what the stock market went up 34% from the 208.
Yes.
So Warren Buffett made 34%. I think George Soros, the other billionaire, made about 37%. So that's a third. That is 1/3. So really, if the pension fund made a third of their money, that would be $1 billion. But even with the Free Press report, they made almost $600 million. That's a $500 million. So you know they're gonna keep the numbers down. They won't even tell you what the general pension fund made, general system. So they were up there, but they're saying the system is broke. It's a lie, based on the news. And it's strange that all of the news, you can pick up the New York Times, you can pick up the Wall Street Journal, you can pick up what's that other, USA Today. All of those articles repeat word for word what's in the Detroit News and Free Press, the local. It's a blackout. You know, this is a good thing that they get a chance to hear what's actually going on in the city of Detroit.
So let me get this straight. You're saying from 2008 to now, there has been an increase in the stock by 34%, which means that the city's pension funding should have saw that increase as well. But at this moment, they're saying that we aren't able and we won't be able to cover the pensions.
That's the lie they're telling. Matter of fact, in 2013, that's 2012, in 2013, the stock was up. That we're talking about the 34%. And so in 2013, when Kevin Orr was standing before Judge Rose lying about the city was insolvent and the pension fund didn't have any money. That was the main thing they were saying, that the pension fund was underfunded and they didn't have any money when they made more money almost in the history of the stock market. The stock was up that high. The majority of the pension funds investments are in the stock market.
Sir, how will you be voting?
No. See, if we vote no, we keep our pension. And they don't want to say that. No, nobody says that. If we vote no, we keep our pension, it goes away. The bankruptcy has to be dismissed. If we vote no, they can't touch our money, our medical, or nothing. Now they're gonna get them twice. They get 2 bites of the apple. All we have to do is turn it down both times, and it's over.
The ballots are due June 11th. Can you tell the people one more time what would happen if they vote yes or no? July 11th, pardon me.
July. If they vote no, you keep your pension, you keep your benefits. They're lying about it. If they're going to bring it back again, they might not, because it's an election year. I think the governor would be crazy to bring it back, but then he's like that. If they bring it back twice, that's it. They vote no, you keep your pension. Regardless of all the scare tactics they're running on us, no means no. And this judge or any judge would have to dismiss the bankruptcy because that's what the law says.
People, you hear right here in the heart, from the heart, if you vote no, you will keep your pension. If you vote no, you will keep your pension and you will keep the right to be able to
sue. Keep all your rights. You don't want to give away anything, and they have to leave. You know what? A big sticking point is bill out.
Yes.
For the citizens here in Detroit. Well, when you say no in the pension, we can take back bill out because Kevin Orr is not a city official, and so the governor can't sign a contract with himself to take over bill out. and he can't hire a contract with any water boy or stooge that he brings in to pay, because Kevin Orr doesn't have anything to do with the city of Detroit. He's here illegally. All of that stuff, they don't want to talk about it. If you look through the briefs, the union, now they are very culpable in this. They filed a, what they call, what is the word? What is it? Yeah, you know what? You said it, but it's not loud enough where I can hear you.
Amicus?
No, the unions filed a, they agreed to the brief. A stipulated brief. So they agreed that Kevin Orr could file a union. Could file for bankruptcy. That's not what the law says. Somebody's getting paid. Simple as that. Did you have any proof? All you gotta do is check the emails, check your bank account. That's what they did to Kwame Kilpatrick, the former mayor. But they filed a stipulated brief, and in the stipulated brief, they said that second stipulated brief that he was the man, which was a lie. And the judge, when you look at the judge's opinion, Judge Rose says, well, since the union filed a stipulated brief with the city and they agreed that the city filed, there's no need of me making a ruling on it. And he just kept going. Because the fix is in. The fix is in. That shows you how crooked this judge is. And I know they say, well, you said the judge is crooked. Yes, I said it in the court paper. And we're going to continue to say the man is crooked. He is supposed to be independent, not holding seminars in the dark. I call them the Sanhedrin courts. You know, that's when they crucified Jesus in the dark, to arrest him late at night. They didn't want nobody to see it and say have their own trial. So that's the same thing here.
I tell you, it is a true blessing to be able to have people who are paying attention and who are informed. I would just like to thank you so very much for sharing with everyone your wisdom and your time, because it takes time to gather this information. And I just want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Okay, and I appreciate the opportunity. I want to thank you. It's all mine.
Absolutely, brother. I love you.
Thank you. Same here. Appreciate it. You too.